Start every row, you just gotta, normally you use 2 people, one person holds this as you get started, but I just tie a little rock to it.
That works.
It works sometimes.
He's laying down the plastic and putting the irrigation tubes underneath it.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. What we're worried about is the land is so dry. Yeah, we need the rain that's hopefully coming, but it's so dry we may have to irrigate before we plant.
Right, because now that you plastic it, the water's not going to get underneath it.
And it does help the plants.
Now, is this biodegradable plastic?
Yeah, it is.
So you just till it under?
Well, we pull it up, but any scraps.
Because it takes so long for
it. Exactly. You know, and people, even though it's biodegradable, like you can see little scraps of it in places. But even though you pull it up, people just don't like to see plastic, even if it is biodegradable.
Right, because as soon as they see it, they assume that it's petroleum plastic.
But we'll yank that stuff up by hand at the end of the season. Joe basically wants to leave a little bit and scraps just get worked in, so no harm. But this is the first time he can remember. You'll have to ask him if he's ever done it or had to do it in the last 20 years at least, of having to put water in before even putting plants in. Most of the time you can kind of squeak by and it's nice enough that you just make it.
Oh yeah, there's the roll on top.
Yep.
With a PEX type soaker hose.
Yeah. It's funny, it's the thinnest little plastic hose, and when you pull it off the reel it feels like it's nothing. But when you walk on this, because I'll have to walk up and down this, and it's all just putting one foot in front of the other, poke a hole, one foot, just walking with the stick and poking a hole and putting a plant in each hole that you do. You have to make sure that you don't stab through that little tiny plastic tube, because otherwise you basically
it's down the middle, or is it down each side?
If you're lucky, it's straight down the middle.
Oh, okay.
If, like what he's doing, making sure that it's, like he's ending a row, but if it's not right in the middle, I get thrown off. That's one thing. I'll go and stab it. And if you stab it, because it's a lot of water that goes through that, you'll end up with like a lake in a certain area.
Right, because you got a hole in it and it just blows right out. It doesn't keep on going.
Oh, it's just...
Then you got to dig into it and put a coupling in and fix it and keep it going.
So basically I have a whole store of those plastic things down in the basement, so as we start looking out there going, that looks a little wet. And it fills up with the tall weeds and stuff. So we won't go through and spray anything, keep the weeds down.
Right.
We just yank them or stomp on them,
Right.
leave them there, because they're not competing with the roots or the plants.
Right.
And that makes it a lot easier for those of us that have to go and harvest, but it makes it a little harder when you're looking for those pools of water. What happened? What we did last year before the deer got it, the first row towards the front will be the peppers, and then we'll finish off. We did okra last year, and we found out deer really love okra around here. And then the next row, I want to say, next maybe 4 rows, we did tomatoes. Maybe 35, 40 different types of tomatoes. We do the heirlooms, those old gorgeous, well, they're ugly, but the flavors